What is going on, YouTube people? For 2 years now, I have been uttering those words. Actually, I don't know the first video that I uttered the words, what is going on, YouTube people, or what is up, YouTube people. I don't know the first time I used YouTube people. Interesting. Regardless, channel turns 2 today. 2 years ago today, I actually uploaded the first video after about a dozen times trying to record the first video and either failing miserably, being extremely nervous with nobody in my house talking into a microphone, and knocking the camera over about 15 different times because I didn't have any of the proper setup for anything. I've talked about the first video a couple different times before. Hits from 40 blasters worth of mosaic, because back then you could actually find retail on the regular. And how nervous I was recording that first video and what a disaster that it was. So shout out to everyone that's ever watched the video, click the like button, subscribed, unsubscribed, downvoted, whatever, over the last 2 years. I sincerely thank you. Also, special shout out to the silent majority that just watches and never interacts with a single thing, never leaves a comment, never posts in a live stream. Maybe you occasionally look at a like button. I don't know. Shout out to the silent masses. So 2 years ago today, I fumbled around with a microphone falling off my desk, a camera that was on a desktop tripod, sitting on top of a bucket, sitting on top of my keyboard tray to get the right angle that I knocked over about every 5 minutes during those first handful of videos. Wild times back then, let me tell you. In addition to terrible thumbnails, we also had terrible lighting and mediocre sound quality. I did not have the best mic. Back then, I recorded with a Turtle Beach headset, and the audio quality was meh. I did not use an iPhone. I used a digital SLR camera. And then I eventually transitioned into more screen recording and that sort of stuff, and as the channel evolved from there. But it has been a wild 2 years. It truly has. The best, honestly, the best part is just the friends that I have made along the way. As cornbally as that sounds coming out of my mouth, it is honestly true. Whether that is other content creators or just people in the community, whether that's local to me or air quotes online friends that I interact with on a daily basis, whether that's in DMs, in the comment section, on live streams, people in my local community that I would not have met if I didn't get active in the sports cards scene. You know, I was obviously in the cards before I started the YouTube channel, but I wasn't going to shows when there was no shows. I dove back in. I dipped my toe in the waters in 2018 when Baker Mayfield came back. Baker Mayfield is patron of the channel because he is actually what got me back in the cards. His rookie year is when I started buying cards again after a long hiatus from my early teenage years. So that's why we talk about Baker a lot. If it wasn't for Baker, I would not have been back in the cards into 2018. Dabbled in 2018, 2019, and then obviously fell hard in 2020, even before the pandemic. I was getting back into things pretty heavily late 2019, early 2020. I remember ripping boxes of Prism retail because you could actually find them at the very tail end of Lucas year. Not a lot. I was very much just kind of still dipping my toes back in, but that all built up to where we sit today, where obviously I'm much more heavily involved. But that got me out shows. I have met and became friends with a lot of people locally that I never would have had before, never would have beforehand, rather. And then, you know, also on kind of a different level, you know, obviously the relationship with the viewers and the people that I've met going to local shows, larger regional shows, the national, people that DM me and talk in the comments. But then there is also an extra level, you know, for the fellow content creators that I have met along the way. I have made a lot of really good people that I consider like actual, like legit friends. You know, Dakota, Sports Cards Anonymous, Flipping Steve, Dustin, Filmington, Kenny Fornos, Justin, the Spidey Hits now, Norn at Sketch Card Hive, Reggie from Reggie Collects, Sam from Women of the Hobby, and a ton of other people. Sorry if I forgot anybody. I'm literally just doing this off the top of my head, because that's I don't script. I think most people know that, but I have never scripted a video in my every video. I've posted almost 700 videos. I think it's 695 ish published videos, and that includes live streams. Not a single video has ever been scripted once. No pen to paper or finger to keyboard to a Word document has ever happened in any one of my videos ever. Typically what happens, if it's something I need to research for, I'll do all the research for the charts and graphs, have tabs opened up, fire up the microphone, and just start talking. Stuff like this, news videos, hot takes, cold takes, whatever it might be, I just turn the microphone on and start talking and go off the top of my head. If I'm lucky, I have to make 0 edits. Usually, I don't want to say it too loud, Siri usually makes a guest appearance about once or twice a video for some stupid reason. She likes to chime in. You guys don't hear it because I edit it out, but typically I don't have to do a lot of editing either. If I have ums or slight little word pauses like that, I leave most of those in. I don't sit and edit that stuff out. But I also think a lot of people, that appeals to a lot of people, because I've talked about this a lot before. Most of us in the YouTube community are not used to reading off a script, so we don't do it very well. It's its own talent in amongst itself. What I'm used to doing, running my damn mouth. I am very good at that. What comes out of it could be a bunch of nonsense and garbage and idiocy, sure, but I'm good at talking. I will say that. Always have been, always been a social butterfly, always enjoyed hearing the sound of my own voice. Wanted to do sports talk radio for years. Years I wanted to be in sports talk radio. I loved sports talk radio in middle school, high school, college. Never wanted to pursue it as a career, but it was always in the back of my thing like, man, it would be so awesome to just sit down and just talk into a microphone about sports all day. So this is the next best thing. But yeah, 2 years has gone by. It's been absolutely fantastic. Once again, the friendships that I've made along the way. It went from I am bored to death in the pandemic and I need an outlet to speak to people, to, oh God, people actually watch this. Why are they watching this? To, I need to start taking this a little bit more seriously, into, I need to be taking this a lot more seriously, into a legitimate side hustle. As it sits today, I have a day job. I am not quitting that anytime soon, as much as I tell my wife that I want to. I have a day job. I will continue to have a day job. I am not retiring off YouTube bucks. YouTube has turned into a nice side hustle for me. 100% admit it. I make a little bit of money off the YouTube channel. It's great. I get to buy myself a nice Carter comic book about once a month if I want to off of it. I stash some of it. Some of it I have to set aside. I mean, we're kind of getting in the weeds here a little bit, but for those of you that don't know, none of this stuff is taxed. So at the end of the year, I get a 1099. So I have to set money aside to pay for that, on top of, buying and selling of cards and comic books, the 1099s that get generated from that, especially now. But I was always keeping things up to date. As is, because of the YouTube channel, I really did not have a choice. One, I am publicly speaking about what I am buying and selling. It would be pretty idiotic of me to try to avoid taxes. And I'm getting 1099s anyway, because Google is going to send me one. The different marketing stuff that I do on occasion is going to send me one. So it made sense to do my stuff on the up and up right from the get. So yeah, it has turned into a legitimate side hustle. I don't want to call it a second job, because the word I attach job to it, then it becomes work. And at this point, I still don't consider this work most days. On occasion, every once in a while, it creeps in, but for the most part, it still does not feel like work. This is still fun to me, which was the intent. The day it starts feeling like actual work, like I'm going to clock into a job, will probably be the day I either take a break or just stop doing it. That being said, this isn't like a formal announcement or anything. I may slow down on daily videos. And when I say slow down on daily videos, instead of 6 a week, you might get 4 or 3 at the minimum. And I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon. I fell into this pattern. I have been doing nearly daily videos since February 1st, 2021. When I did the Marvel video, actually, the Marvel card video, which is the most viewed video on the channel at like 40K views. Since that video launched in February of 2021, when things were at their all-time peak, I said to myself, let's commit to doing a video a day and see what happens. Obviously, that was my best month ever on YouTube in terms of views, subscriber gained, etc. I timed it perfectly because that was also when the market was the hottest. There was a lot of stuff going on. So it really worked out well. And it's, I'll be honest to you, it's addicting. getting the content out every day is a little bit addicting. Seeing the views roll in, I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a little bit addicting. Feeling the little endorphin rush or whatever it is, that little dopamine hit of watching the views roll in on a particular video or checking in part of the way through the day to see how a video is performing. I would be lying to you if I told you that I'm ever so slightly hooked on that feeling, to steal a line from a song. So, I may cut down a little bit, but odds are I'll probably still be posting more often than not. And I don't see that necessarily changing anytime soon, just if I miss a day. The times that really suck is when I want to go on vacation, and I still feel committed to trying to get a video out. So I pre-record a bunch of stuff. That is on occasion when it feels like work. Pre-recording a bunch of videos in a day, that's when it feels like work. Doing a video a night, great. Feels fine. Takes me about an hour or two, depending on if I got to research or not. No problem at all. I am curious in the comments down below if you remember. Maybe you don't, but I'd be very curious to find out what video or what led you here. How did you find this? Was it because I appeared on someone else's channel? Was there a particular video? Maybe you don't remember, and that's perfectly fine. But is there one particular video that stands out? Like, oh, I remember stumbling across your retail hunting video way back in the day. Or a lot of people, it's the Marvel card video. Or some other thing. Or you were on Dakota Stream. Or you're on Reggie Collects. Or you were on Jeff Wilson. Whatever. The YouTube journey's been great. In addition to the friends, the doors that it's opened up to me for opportunities. If you would have told me that I would have Peter, the CEO of SGC, on the channel for an interview, when I first started this thing, I would have been like, excuse me, a CEO of a grading company is going to come on a channel and talk to me? You're crazy. If you told me that I would go to the National and people would randomly recognize me, my wife was super impressed with that, by the way. Not going to lie. That was wild to me as well. And by the way, if you see me at a show, local, regional, national, whatever, otherwise, please do not be afraid to come up and say hello to me. Please. I am just an idiot talking into a microphone. All I am. So please do not be scared to come up. I've had people message me and they're like, oh, I saw you at the Ship Shawana show, but I didn't want to come up and bug you. You're not bugging me. Come up, pat me on the shoulder, whatever, say hello. Hey, Nia, what's going on? Even if it's just like a nod and a like the content, thumbs up, whatever. Just if you want to. If you don't want to, perfectly fine. Not forcing an interaction here. Just saying. And the people after the fact say, oh, I saw you and I wanted to come up to you, but I wasn't sure if it was a good time, this, that, and the other thing. Just come up. Well, unless I'm like in the middle of a deal, just wait for me to finish a deal and then just be, hey, whatever. It's all good. So the YouTube journey's been grand. People that I've met along the way, like I said, absolutely fantastic. Where it goes from here, I have no freaking idea. I am planning to continue to make content. Maybe it won't be daily. Maybe it will be daily. Who knows? But the content's not going anywhere. I do truly enjoy doing this. One of the things that I think has helped keep me sane is by bringing in other markets. Venturing off and talking about comic books on occasion, non-sports cards on occasion, really helps break up the monotony of constantly talking about the same thing. And I think there's things you can learn from one market to the other, or apply things that you learn in one market to have an advantage in another market 100%. So you can kind of leverage your knowledge bases around the collectible markets and move in and out of certain ones. I enjoy sports cards. I enjoy non-sports cards. I enjoy comic books. I treat each one of them a little bit differently. Sports cards, for the most part, are flips for me. For the most part, I do have, some PC stuff and some things that I like. Non-sports cards are more pure PC. And sports cards, I'm mostly ultra modern. Comic books, I treat like a lot of you all treat vintage sports cards. To me, comic books are my true, air quote, investment, long-term holds. I'm going to buy them. They're going to sit in a box or on display in some cases for months, if not years. I've never bought a comic book with the plan of selling it in a short time frame. I've purchased every comic book that I've purchased has either been PC for like a cool variant cover. Anything investment level that I've purchased has all been for long-term holds. I also like the idea of diversifying into multiple markets. So I mentioned it earlier, the YouTube side hustle thing. I'll give you guys a little glimpse behind the scenes. This is YouTube's analytic page. This is my monthly income for May. $595 so far. That's about normal. Generally, here's a breakdown over the last 6 months. Generally speaking, it ends up being about $1,000 a month. A little variance there one way or the other. December's high because December's always high because YouTube has higher ad rates in December because it's Christmas time. And then January and February are always really bad. February is usually one of the worst months when it comes to ad rates, and you could see that reflected here. And I have no control over that. YouTube sets it, you get your cut. It is what it is. It's just all what the advertising companies are buying. So generally speaking, if I post near daily, I average maybe about $1,000 a month. Now, a little bit, I mean, you can see the numbers. Sometimes it's a little bit higher, sometimes it's a little bit lower. Key thing to keep in mind here, pre-tax. So taxes are not taken out of that yet. So whack 30% off. Yes, there's some deductions and things like that, some accounting, chicanery that you could pull on the back end. But regardless, I set a decent portion aside for taxes every single month. I pay quarterly now. And you can see on an individual video, this is this month. On an individual video, my highest grossing video this month is $73. That is an outlier. That was the sports card trimming one that I did. The Peter video, that was an hour and a half long recording, $60. And then typically this is where most of them usually sit. About a good video is maybe $40 a video. I had some videos that come in at $20 a video. Just kind of depends on, the ways of the YouTube algorithm and how the video performs. So just to kind of give you a general idea, subscribers don't matter when it comes to YouTube revenue. It's all about the views. Subscribers are cool. The easiest way I break this down, subscribers give you clout. They do not give you, and once again, I'm not saying I have clout. That's just, they give you a little bit of a status, I guess. It puts you on the radar of companies and CEOs to potentially come on and do interviews or whatnot, because they see you have a large subscriber base, and you have a decent following, and that maybe opens a door for you or gets someone to at least listen to you on things like that for whatever it is that you're doing. Now, obviously, when you're talking about YouTube revenue, there are other revenue streams. I have a Market Movers affiliate, I have an eBay affiliate, and I have a MySlabs deal. Those things, other than the MySlabs deal, vary a ton on a given month. I'm not going to get into the individual breakdowns on those because I don't know that they want that stuff revealed, so I'm not going to talk about that. The Google stuff, I don't mind sharing with you guys and girls, but that stuff jumps all around. And same thing, taxes aren't taken out of that. I got to set stuff aside for that, keep track of all that. So $1,000 a month really ends up not being a ton of money when you consider the amount of time that goes into each video. Even if each video was an hour, that's at minimum 30 hours a month, assuming let's say 25 hours a month, assuming I post 25 videos. Most videos probably are closer to 2 hours, usually about a half an hour of research, usually about a half an hour to 45 minutes to record, depending on the length of the video or how much research is involved. And then there's usually a half an hour to an hour afterwards. Got to make the thumbnail, got to upload it, got to edit it, got to do this, that, and the other thing. Luckily, my edit process is pretty clean, but that's a little glimpse behind the scenes on what, this all breaks out to be. Like I said, about 40 or $50 a video. Typically, every once in a while, you'll have an outlier on that it might perform a little bit better. I think the most money I've ever made on a video lifetime is the retail hunting video, which has 35,000 views, and the Marvel card video, which has 40,000 views. The retail hunting video has actually made more money. I think I've made like $285 on that. And that video has 35,000 views, and it's been up for almost 2 years now. I did that video very, very, very early on. The Marvel card video has more views, but has a little less revenue. Who the hell knows why? YouTube's weird. I think that one I've made maybe $250 on, and that's 40,000 views on that video, to just kind of put that in perspective. And every niche is different. Depending on the niche that you do impacts how much ad revenue you get. Once again, sorry to get in the weeds here, but some people find this stuff probably interesting, or at least it's a look behind the curtain, so you kind of have a better idea of all this. So like I said, I'm not retiring off this, but every once in a while I get to buy something cool, or I use it for equipment and or travel to some of the larger shows. So I set some money aside for the National, because that's a very expensive hotel room, or I upgrade equipment, buy a new camera, buy a new microphone, buy new brackets and mounts. I have all sorts of craziness now on my desk that I did not have when this channel started. Mounts for cameras, the microphone's on a boom arm. I have a ring light now. I had to buy an extra monitor, all sorts of nonsense that you guys and girls probably don't care about. And you don't need all that stuff to start a channel, by the way. When I started my channel, I had a camera and a microphone. You really don't even need that. A lot of people do it all from their iPhone. And then, I know people that edit on their iPhone, which is wild to me. I could not imagine doing that. Couple just important things in regards to the YouTube side of things. If you are thinking about making content, thumbnail is extremely important. Audio quality is extremely important. Camera quality is important. It's not a deal breaker, but your audio has to be on point. It can't be crackly. It can't be distorted. It can't sound funky. You need good, clean audio. Have to have good, clean audio. And then you have to have a good thumbnail. Put time in on thumbnails. I hate them. I hate making YouTube thumbnails. Hate them. But they are the most important thing in regards to discoverability. That's one of the biggest things that I've taken away over the last couple of years doing this whole thing. So that's all I have for you guys and girls. Once again, thank you. Just a little trip down memory lane and some little behind the scenes stuff. I like doing this every once in a while. So that's all I have for you guys and girls today. Thank you for going on this journey for the last 2 years. We'll see where the next year takes us. Live stream tonight. I don't know who's going to be on. It might just be me. I'm going to send the invite out to some guests. We'll see who could pop on. Don't know how long we'll go for, but we'll hang out and chat for a little bit. Just normal, whatever chat wants to discuss. We can reminisce about YouTube nonsense, whatever. Doesn't make a difference to me. But I believe I have that. It's already up. It's been up for a week. I believe that's set for 7:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight, and we'll probably go for at least a couple hours, if not longer. We'll see who pops on and where the discussion takes us. But I'd have to imagine everything will probably be on the table, from sports cards, comic books, non-sports cards, all that jazz. So once again, truly, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for sharing the channel, sharing the video to a friend. All that. Just thank you. I legitimately would not be here without all you guys and girls watching on a daily basis. So shout out to you. Catch you guys and girls tonight. Peace.